Hi guys, welcome to another Reactorama. This is for Marc Price's Colin, the notorious zombie film that Martin Scorsese praised, and got a very quite wide release, got distributed everywhere, and it was made for 45 quid. And Marc Price said they went over budget because they spent too much money on biscuits for the crew.
Did Marc struggle with the price?
I don't know, everyone involved basically did it for free, and this is a labour of love. It took many years to make. It's not going to get awards for a production value, but I mean, considering it's a 45 quid movie, it's miles better than a lot of the drudgery that you get. So let's do a Reactorama to Marc Price's Colin. As you can tell, I'm a fan.
Let's go. Pretty sure I've got an episode of The Bill that looks about like this.
I mean, it had something to it for me, I think. It's quite grainy and
It makes it more
atmospheric, or aged, or
no,
lived in.
no,
Visceral.
no.
Which one is it?
Stop trying to put words in my mouth. No, it makes it more real, I think, because it's very much like it's actually happening, more documentary, yeah.
Very docu-styly. Without it being a found footage film. Which I could have easily gone down to, but I think it's so shaky cameras.
It's the fact that you can hear the boiler come on when he washes his hands in hot water. It does, it makes it more like it's real.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens in real life, your boiler comes on. The only difference is that in 2008 we didn't have water that fucking hot. Thank you.
Oh, stab the fucker! I mean, that's such a well executed taunt sequence. You'll be transforming soon, mate.
Probably cost a tenner to replace the bloody kitchen drawer. No, I shouldn't take the piss. But that scene where he's just standing there staring into the distance kind of looks like the beginning of a Dido music video. It does though, doesn't it?
And I can see it all.
And I can't see it all.
Sacrilege leaving a book like that. Well, at least have the decency to put like a bit of newspaper in it or something.
I love the score for this.
It doesn't take a lot to make a good score though. Not really.
If you have the means,
Yeah.
I mean, unless you make Hallmark films, then. He's finally managed to get out.
Not the window that was open in the first place. It's amazing what you can do with an early summer morning and a few newspapers on a road.
And a car. They said that they had to just keep driving past them to get enough of a breeze, enough of a backdraft, and just, you know, early in the morning. Very effective. And Marc said as long as we pick up the newspapers after us, we're fine.
Yeah.
You can do so much with very little. Nice. Makeup's so good.
Still better acting than that bloody Layla woman from
Into the grass. He's not very good at being a zombie, is he? Not adapting to it very well. I think think that's a really cool, unique concept. Imagine if you think of a zombie.
Well, all zombie movies are always the ones that aren't zombies surviving against the zombies, and this is the opposite of that.
Taking on the zombie's plight. A zombie who isn't really that good at being a zombie. He's got more humanity than zombie. Ooh, fuck.
Are you eating or listening?
Hey, coffee. Fish. This zombie talk. What would you name? What do you want your name to be on it, sir?
Sorry, how do you spell
Last name? Baines.
Listening to his music. I hope it's a good tune to end your life on. Could you imagine if it turns out to be like Justin Bieber? Baby, baby, baby.
Ow!
Sounds like he's retching.
I mean, if it was Bieber, I would be as well. Tunage, obviously, they had to make themselves, otherwise it would be, you know. The film's for fucking 45 quid. Imagine if they tried to get an actual song.
One man bad.
Do it again.
That's mine, bro.
White boys, isn't it?
I mean, people would do that, wouldn't they?
They'll have shoes off of anyone, they don't care. I'm missing from all my shit, you blood, yo.
All that samurai swords. I love a good time lapse. That's when someone runs past and it's like...
Do you know what that sign means?
I'm gonna end up looking like Colin at that question. It means you could go either way. It means cross paths.
No.
It means go left.
No.
It means go right.
No. It means you've been on a one-way road and now you're about to go onto a road that is two ways.
But he is. I'm in the mind frame of Colin. It's left and it's right, and he's distinguishing it.
But I'm telling you the truth.
I mean, if Colin pulled up in a car, I'd understand if he started calculating it.
Who are? I swear to Christ, Colin literally just survives everything. Everybody else loses like their...
Oh, nice.
Everyone else loses like their heads, and he's just like,
I'm still out of it.
oh. Might be low budget, but eyes still get to me.
I mean, this makeup is very good. Well done, Michelle Webb. Well done, Marc. you think of it?
Good idea. Executed relatively well. Storyline was boring as fuck.
Yeah, there's a little bit. There's not much. There's very little that you can do, but I like the execution of it. I like the concept of it. Some parts are, yes, long in the tooth,
Boring.
but I feel that for someone who's a cine Eastern, I think for the shots that they've got, the action set pieces and everything that they managed to orchestrate, they had no budget. This is literally like a video camera that you use when you go on holiday, and they've actually executed a pretty good, well shot, well-rounded, well edited, well composed, well graded, just well made film. I think it's a well made film. There's very little in there to engage you, but I think if you hang on for those bigger moments, you can just better appreciate it. I mean, watching the special features, you know that they had so much fun doing it. And it shows you a better appreciation of the real dedication and the hard work that went into it. But I understand what you mean. There is very little to this film. But a lot of the time, I feel like there's very little to horror films. That's your opinion, isn't it? There's very little to a horror film where it's trying to imbue it with some sense of emotionality and connective tissue. No.
Just because something's well shot doesn't make it a good film for me. Doesn't make it a well-rounded film for me. Because the storyline is your basis to work from. Everything on top of that. The thing is, if you've got a good storyline, you tend to have a 3-star film. If you then have good shots and good this and good that, then you start to move up to that 5-star film.
Yeah.
So the problem is for me is because you're missing the storyline, there's nothing to it.
I mean, for the zombie genre in of itself, it's a reinvention and done on such a low level. It's so ambitious, and I think they pull off what they want to pull off. They pull off that of which they can only do. I agree, there's no story to it, but that of which it's trying to execute, at least it's got its heart in it a little bit and all engaged. So it is a 3-star film for me. Back then I was like 5 stars. I'd give it 5 stars for the ingenuity of working with what they've got, but over it's a 3-star film. Even Marc Price agrees, because I tweeted him ages ago, much later when this film's released. I've rewatched it, 5 stars, it's a thing. He went 5 stars, he went, I wouldn't even give it a 3-star at a push.
I would agree with him there.
Yeah.
It's yeah, I mean, the execution is relatively well done. The makeup is amazing, but if there's no storyline, there's no film for me.
Yeah.
And I can't sit here and go, oh yeah, they had a good time, therefore that makes it a better film. Like, I personally can't.
Get out of your own bedroom. No, I completely see it. I completely get it.
It's just you got. I can't personally put the fact that just because it was a low budget means that I should think differently of it. Like, for what they had,
well,
it's a good
considering
movie.
the stuff
like,
that we've made and created, we've turned around and went, for what we've got, we've done a good thing. The same thing can be applied to this. This is literally what they did, like us going out and making that COVID film.
But it's free to think of a storyline. I'm not saying our movies are 5 stars, but what I'm saying is the fact that a story that is created in one's head is free. You don't have to pay for that. So for me, the storyline has absolutely no connection to budget whatsoever. What are we doing?
The intro for Colin, which is
Outro
delayed
for Colin.
by 2 nights from when we initially recorded it. Me and Laura had a balmy due to
Misunderstanding.
Laura thought I was cutting her down. I wasn't. I was just getting ahead of myself and excited with a wealth of information about Colin. I'm a big enthusiast for this film.
Can I have cheese on the chips on my shoulders? Because I really like cheesy chips.
Yes.
Thank you.
And that fills in the gap.
The gap?
I said you've got a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah.
You said, can I fill it in with cheese?
Yeah. Oh, because in the gap. Oh, I meant the chips.
Ah.
Like
She's got chips on her shoulder. Anyway, yeah, Colin, it was ending out with your opinion as to the whole a very interesting take actually about the story perspective side of it.
Yeah, for me, I think I was saying before, it's free to think of a storyline. It's physically free, and I mean that by if you hire a writer, it's not free, but it's free to think of something in your own head. Is what I meant by that. And for me personally, whether it's £40 or £40,000.
Or 40 million.
That's what I meant, sorry, 40 million. Regardless, that somebody's actual thought for a storyline is still free. It doesn't matter how much you're overall going to pay for this film. The storyline, where it originates from, that person's mind, that's free. You don't have to pay someone's mind to do that.
No.
You do have to pay them to write it, but that's different. So I think that's why the film was so rubbish for me, just because it just didn't have anything. I thought the idea, like the overall idea of the story was great, but the actual physical storyline, I'm bored.
There wasn't anything to it.
No.
It's a good concept.
Yeah.
It's executed as to how it not how it should, but what. I mean, to be honest, that's all they could fucking do.
To be honest, it was executed incredibly well, given it was a £45 budget. It was incredibly well. The amount of makeup they had for such little budget is phenomenal.
Yeah, but it is.
But it doesn't make the storyline any better. It's
a good idea. It's a good concept. It's actually well executed on a filmic level, a visual, cinematic language level.
Very clever.
But the story is just staggeringly long. And I do know it has no story. Marc Price himself would agree with you. It's like, this isn't a film that we would make to, like, you know.
I'm glad the creator agrees that his film is shit.
Well, I think, like,
No,
looking
it's not
back
entirely.
at it, it's a really good, like, it's been a great entrance way to
Bigger and better things.
bigger and better things. Like, he's worked with Universal Pictures recently on a movie called A Fistful of Lead. He did another movie called Magpie, which, in the wake of Colin, everyone was like, what's his big follow-up? And it's actually a quite a sad drama, and I think it's on Amazon Prime, called Magpie, that of which I don't think got distributed quite like Colin, but it is on Amazon. And when I found that out, I was like, oh, that'd be interesting to watch. I'd be interested to watch his Night Shooters and A Fistful of Lead. I mean, he's gone on to better things, and the thing is, a lot of filmmakers go out and make horror because it's relatively easy, and it's quite easy to do it cheap. Not always true. I mean, he had a perfect team behind him who were all about it, and I think for what it was, it is brilliant. I completely agree. There's nothing to it outside of some amazingly executed, ingenious ways of filling the gaps of a very long stretch of film that goes nowhere. I mean, the saving grace for me is the ending, where it all kind of ties itself together. But
I do like that idea, I must admit. I do like the idea of the fact that the whole, everywhere he's been is because...
turns out it's
his... Is it his partner?
his ex.
Yeah.
Not his ex, well, his
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
partner, despite
partner.
the fact that she's
dead.
dead. But I think, the fact that he's actually following this kind of, this road almost down memory lane, now he's a zombie. And I thought that was brilliant, but the issue I had was that was the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
Not
if
the
it was
last 40.
sprinkled throughout a little tidbit, I think it may have had reason.
If they did flashbacks,
I mean, yeah.
so you know when at the first when they show the coffee
But
shop,
I feel that that's a big reveal at the end of the film, but at the same time, I still agree. I think there should have been some form of indication.
they needed a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe not everything, because you do need a bit of a big reveal. The thing is with a film, you need to ask questions all the way through.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? And actually, a lot of people say, "Oh, it's too predictable." In some ways, you need a film to be able to create assumptions in your head.
Yeah.
I know this is going to be the ending. I know this is going to be the ending. Whether you're right or wrong, it doesn't really matter.
No.
You just need something to keep you going,
Yeah, yeah.
to keep you questioning
I think
what's
so,
going to happen.
yeah.
And I wasn't questioning.
It is just a man staggering about. And we're waiting a good 20 minutes before we come to the next action set piece, which lasts about 3-4 minutes, and then it staggers out for another 25 minutes until he comes to another action set piece. And that is what it is. I know. I know. It owns it. The filmmaker owns it. I mean, he doesn't think it's some masterpiece. He's not like, oh, it is my 44th.
Yeah, but it's got him where he is now, which I think is brilliant, really, because there's so many of us that, I mean, I don't think I could ever do anything that would manage to get itself on DVD or anything like that, but there are so many of us amateurs that can just go and film something random, but the fact that he's managed to do that, and then he's actually made things afterwards, and that he's actually got himself into that film director kind of role and
got
career.
in the industry. It's an into the industry,
I mean.
and he's used that to his advantage in helping others as well.
Exactly, and we've created short movies and longer movies, and it's just like, great, okay, is it going to get us anywhere? No, but he's been really lucky that it has managed to get him somewhere. So I think that is brilliant.
And having the balls to make a feature-length film off of a fucking camcorder, especially,
Very clever.
and a prolonged period of then go, I'm taking it to festivals.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is a very clever idea, and it is. It is a good idea. It's just and it's executed very well. It's just a storyline for me.
Do you know what I would be very interested in? I mean, I would really like him to go back to that genre and do something similar, but with a bigger budget.
See what he can do this time, sort of thing. Yeah.
Like kind of cater to
before and after production companies kind of thing.
Yeah, like this is before, this is me now, like.
Yeah.
But he's not doing just one thing. He's like done a kung fu spoof film. He's done a western. His recent one looks like a really good like science fiction space opera thriller called Dune Drifters. So, I mean, Colin, for me, it's I was like 3 stars. I'm sitting there. I think it's a 4-star film, though taking on board that in reality, outside of my appreciations, it is a 3-star
Yeah, but
film.
you shouldn't do that. Just the same as you say to me, don't do that for those films that you think are absolute cack. You know, like my chick flicks and my I'm not guilty pleasures. Maybe Colin is one of your I'm not guilty pleasures.
I'm not guilty.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So don't say that it's, you know, oh, I can see it's a 3-star film. It's a 4-star film for you.
Yeah.
It's a 1-star film.
At least
for
it's not
me.
a 5-star film.
Saving grace. But yeah, so it's 4 stars for you. It's 1 star for me. But we can both appreciate the other side.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But that's all we need to really.
Exactly. Anyway, that's us all done for Colin outro. Bye. Next episode will be what we just recorded, which is Heretics.
Heretics, Reactorama number 6.
And we loved it. And he's a shit.
Bye guys.